You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. All I'm saying was, it was an amazing night. And to have Phil Collins play our winter formal...
She's a huge fan, but
why do you get the giggles when I talk about Phil Collins?
Because I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Oh, remember that?
She laughs every time because when that song played 2 years ago, there was it was right in the middle of the funniest accident in the workshop, and that's why she laughs every time she hears the name. Watch, Phil Collins. See, every time.
Also, I did not. They said we were. I mean, when Mr. Barrow said that we weren't going to believe who was going to play the winter formal, I thought it would probably be
like one of us.
Yeah,
not like us, but an elf.
I had no idea it was going to be Phil frickin' Collins.
Well, and then the revelation that he's an elf.
Right. That was a shocker.
Wait, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that.
Okay. Well, hopefully they cut it out. Welcome to Elf Centered, everybody. My name is Gavin.
I'm Beatrice.
I'm Gary.
And we are talking about the amazing winter formal that had Phil Collins, who's not an elf, performing at the thing. And it was just, I mean, I thought, he was retired. He was retired. He was not
he's having a
coming
comeback.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Then I thought, well, I'm never going to hear Susudio again live, And then to hear it live at our winter formal.
And he really let fly. It was amazing. It was amazing. His voice is great.
And he did 2 encores.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then when Santa flew him off in the sled, and he was still singing, I Can Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight. It was
angelic. There was
magical.
shooting stars going off.
Well, welcome to Elf Centered, everybody. My name is Gavin.
I'm Beatrice.
I'm Gary.
I think the best winter formal ever.
Ever.
Oh,
Ever.
of course.
Hands down.
Yeah. Because we hope that all of you out there feel the same way. Because it was, man, what? And you know what? I'm going to say we deserved it.
Yes, we did.
After all the work we did this year, all the coal digging you did down there in the coal, the coal mines, all the
yo-yo testing,
yo-yo trials and tribulations you have been through, I'm sure you're relieved that that's over.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
None.
And,
you and the all the hard work you had to do in the hotel.
Yeah, well, tonight, it's really weird. This is the thing I was really looking forward to. Because tonight, who checked in is Old Man New Year. And he's very old. And I have heard rumors from people who've worked in the hotel before that tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to help him out of the room in a baby carriage. That's what I heard.
That is the most bizarre thing. I've seen a YouTube video of that transformation happen.
Really?
It is like a horror show. It's good that not everybody sees that happen.
Well, hopefully he's going to do it in his room. I don't need to see that.
I haven't seen any YouTube videos, but I really want to meet. Do you think I'll get to meet him?
Sure.
Before the...
I would meet him today if you can.
Before the transformation.
Yeah, because tomorrow morning
he's
a baby,
and
he can't talk until at least March. So I would, if you can, if you want to converse, if you just want to see him, you can meet him tomorrow morning. He's a baby. You can hold him.
Oh,
hold the
that
new
seems
year
like
in your hands.
No, that's too much pressure. What if I drop him? You guys know how I was in the yo-yo lab.
That's true.
Yeah, but
I don't need to hold baby New Year.
Yeah, but it's not like he's going to be attached to a string.
Well, it probably would be better if he was, because if I did drop him, I could just reel him back in.
All right. Yeah, talk to him today before he transforms.
Okay.
That's what I would go over there right now.
I will.
After we're done here. But what do you guys... I want to get opinions. Did you have something you want to talk about? Because I want to get opinions on something.
Well, I was just going to say, aside from the entertainment, which was incredible...
Yeah.
how did everybody's date go?
Maga and I hit it off really good.
Oh, Gavin.
I'm
so pleased.
And I'm happy to say, you know how they say, what are you doing on New Year's Eve?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be having a kiss at New Year's Eve.
Oh, nice.
She's a lovely lady. She likes pro wrestling, which,
that's big.
you know, I like pro wrestling as well.
She looks like she could have been a pro wrestler.
She is
Like,
pretty...
she has, like, really aggressive eyes.
She said something about, like, tonight, like, after we kiss, I hope you're ready to get slammed. And I was like, I don't know. That's a wrestling term. I'm not sure I know what that means. But I
got an idea.
This is, you know, the formal was on the 27th, the morning of the 28th. I peeked around the corner. I waited for Melvin to leave because he was talking to Zeta. And I brought Zeta a thank you note because we really hit it off.
That was so thoughtful of you. You're very thoughtful.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean...
It's also thoughtful that he thought enough to not do it with Melvin around.
Yeah.
Yes, me. That was a
Well,
safe
she
one.
said quite plainly that he doesn't like me, so... but, man, oh man, we had a great time. But how was your evening with Clarice?
Oh, as good as it always is.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yep. It was great.
Okay.
I don't want to go into details. It's like, this is top secret stuff.
And Beatrice, forgive me if you do not want to bring this up on the air, but it was a shock to me, and I'm sure it was a shock to Gary,
Oh, yeah.
to see you come in with Benny, with his limp and everything.
What happened?
Because
How did
before,
that
Benny
match?
didn't want to even be around you in the yo-yos, and after you clocked him in the head with the walk the dog, but then you're suddenly on a date together for the winter formal? How did that come about?
It was a contract. Mr. Barrow made me sign it. Because of all the injuries that Benny suffered at my hands trying to master the yo-yos,
Oh,
and all the time he missed, and he didn't have a date for the winter formal, and Mr. Barrow came up to me with this piece of paper, and he said it was my obligation as a good elf to agree to go to winter formal with Benny because Benny didn't have anyone to go with.
because he's so disfigured. From all the
Yes.
beatings that
Not
incurred.
beatings, accidents at the hands of a errant yo-yo.
Right.
And it was Mr. Barrow, so what was I going to say? No.
You gotta say yes.
Because I did have a date, you guys.
You had a date? Mm-hmm. Who was your other date?
Pedro.
My Pedro?
He's not your Pedro, but
Well, he's my Pedro in the fact
yes,
that
your
he's...
Pedro. Yes, Pedro. Pedro asked me to go to the winter formal back at the November potluck because he
That
loved
little
my
sneak.
scotcheroo. So why is he sneak?
No, I mean, it's just like, I'm excited that happened.
Well, it is. No, you don't understand because I didn't get a chance to explain to... I had agreed to go with Pedro. Of course I had agreed to go with Pedro. He's cute as a button and he loved my scotcheroos.
And he's got a great penmanship.
And he's got a fantastic
And
penmanship.
he's rugged. He got blown out of the mine and survived.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, which is key for this relationship because no doubt something horrible is going to approach him via end of a street.
Gary.
Anyway,
Okay, ignore that. What you were saying.
Okay, so I gleefully agreed to go to the winter formal with Pedro because you guys know that this is the first time anyone's asked me to go to the winter formal.
Right.
Because
Right.
I've always gone by myself every year or with Hortense.
right.
So then Mr. Barrow comes with the stupid contract, which I have to sign, and I didn't have I couldn't find Pedro because he was in the mines because it was so busy,
right. Yeah.
and I didn't get a chance to tell him that I, was being forced to go with Benny, and I tried to send him a note, but I sent it on with one of the reindeers who must have eaten it because it never got to
Oh yeah,
Benny.
that's the first thing you do about reindeers, man. You got to coat it with jalapeno paste.
Well,
Otherwise, they eat it.
I didn't know that. So, long story short, Benny walks in and he sees...
Pedro walks in.
Pedro walks in and he sees me on
Benny's arm.
Benny's arm. And he looked at me and he had this beautiful corsage And you know I love flowers. And he threw it down, stomped on it, ground it into the auditorium floor so viciously. And then he left, and I haven't been able to talk to him since.
Well, but you have a copy of the contract, right? Like, you could show
No,
Pedro...
I don't have a copy of the contract because Mr. Barrow took it with him.
You're always supposed to get anytime you sign a contract, you get a copy of it.
It's Mr. Barrow. Can you imagine? Oh, Mr. Barrow, I need a copy of that contract. Why do you need a copy? You don't trust me? Of course I trust you, Mr. Barrow. Then you don't need a copy. You know.
Well, he does wiggle around on that.
Gary talks to Pedro, and I'm sure you're not in the mines much, but like you're friendly with Pedro, right? You could talk to him.
Oh man, I'm in the mines all the time, and yeah, I would totally talk to him. And I didn't know about this love affair to begin with because he keeps it to himself. But I'd be more than happy to approach him.
Well, there you go. We'll get it worked out.
Oh yeah, totally.
Now I have to wait a whole year for a winter formal.
Well, you don't have to wait a whole year for a date.
Right, you could have your own formal.
Apparently, you can go get glamour shots at the mall with whoever you want at any point you want. Yeah,
and in any state of undress or dress.
So I wouldn't worry about. We'll get this worked out.
Okay.
I'm sure Gary, you'll talk to Pedro.
Oh man, I'll talk to Pedro. I'll lay it down. I'll give him the what for and who how it.
Okay.
But how? I mean, aside from that, which is awful, was there any bright side of going with Benny, or was it just not fun at all?
Well, Benny does have some good jokes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But unfortunately, Benny didn't seem to understand that we were on a contract date, so to speak, and he took it very seriously. Yeah.
So you've broken his bones, and now you're going to have to break his heart.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. Listen, it's the game of love.
I know.
You know?
Yeah,
There's winners, losers.
Yeah, man. Can you think what if we brought Benny in here and had you express your non-love for him on?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
I've been through that. Don't do it.
We all went through that with Zeta and Gavin. That nobody wants to go through that again. But I did make an interesting discovery.
What's that?
You said Pedro's handwriting was...
I did.
That he had excellent penmanship?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of... Remember I was getting those Secret Admirer?
Oh, yeah. Earlier this year, they're like...
I don't know if Pedro wrote those, but I'm going to try and get a sample so I can do a side-by-side comparison.
Oh.
Well, that would certainly explain why he was so upset.
It would.
Yeah, because he's been jonesing for this reality to happen for a long time.
Well, listen, if it's true love, it'll work out. That's what I always say. If it's true... Now, I know I said that with Zeta, and it did not, but I'm going to say that it's true. If it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I'm so exhausted. It was such a busy season getting all the toys ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can't wait for our holidays.
Man, there's been a load of, the coal was incredible. And, man, I don't know. I was late coming today because I saw Krampus wandering around the halls. And I was not interested in seeing that guy.
Yeah.
So I had to hide in the library.
I wonder what Krampus is here for.
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, it involves children in his basket or something. But speaking of vacations, you were talking about relaxation time, and this is what I wanted to bring up. What do you guys feel about the new water slide that's going in? And it opens on January 7th.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I am all for it.
I'm pretty excited, too.
I know.
I've never been on a water slide.
Really?
No?
No, they're fun.
Oh, man.
I went on one once, a long time ago. Because my family and I were on vacation in Barcelona.
Oh,
We
wow.
went
They
on a
had
water
one
slide.
in Barcelona?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one. There was one when I went to Montana last year. There was one.
I'm just interested
At the
to see
Ranch.
before you went on it with a broken arm?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I put a plastic bag over,
There you
a
go.
garbage bag,
Yeah.
tape on it. It's great.
Well, I'm waiting to see the technology that keeps the water from freezing.
I was just going to say, because then it's more like an ice slide. And you know who's going to be all over that ice slide?
Who?
The penguins.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know how they love to slide
We will
on ice.
never get a chance if that ice. But no, supposedly there's this new technology that keeps the water from freezing.
Is that like warm water?
Well, they have to heat it up somehow. I don't think it's like boiling hot water because that would not. That would be a
melt the
horrible
slides.
slide.
Yeah, that would be.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also might cause everybody to have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
Well, or warming.
Well, speaking of chilling, the weather coming up, it is going to be snow for the next couple days, and then snow for the rest of the days. So I hope you have your knit caps ready. And we thank you for tuning in to Elf Centered. My name is Gavin.
My name is Beatrice.
I'm Gary.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year.
Do you know where Pedro is today? Like we can go talk to him today?
Oh, yeah.
We should. This episode of Elf Centered was completely improvised by Jayne Entwistle, Chris Sheets, and Grant Baciocco. The elves are continuing their investigation into the murder they heard about, and they found a clue involving soup. What is the clue, and what kind of soup was it? To hear all about it, you'll have to download the free Saturday Morning Media app for iOS and Android and hit the button that says bonus in the entry for this episode. For more information on how to download the app, visit SaturdayMorningMedia.com/app. Elf Centered is a production of Saturday Morning Media and made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a monthly donation for as little as $1 a month. Huge thanks to Shay Stewart, Merle Lafferty, Jeff Peterson, Dale Gadania, Stephen Staver, Jackie Klimo, Melissa Crawford, Chuck, Matthew Wayne Selznick, Dave Slusher of the Evil Genius Chronicles, Mike Coughlin, Dorothy Baciocco, John D., Kathy Crawford, Brian Greer, Carrie Whitney, Chuck Tomasi, Chris Foster, Stephen Ing, Clinton of ComedyForecast.com, Vicky DeVries, Mike Wabshall, Twitter user Butzingear, a.k.a. Wildcat, Eve Cunning, Mike Hamilton, Gaston Moreno, Reed Loveland, and Ivan Asquith. If you'd like to support this show and the other fun content from Saturday Morning Media, become a patron. Head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly donation today. You can also tell a friend about the show or leave the show a review on iTunes. That helps more people find out about the show. Also, while you're over there on iTunes, be sure to click that subscribe button. That way you'll get episodes the moment they are released. Thank you so much for tuning in, and from everyone here at Elf Centered, Happy New Year. Elf Centered is copyright 2016 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.SaturdayMorningMedia.com. You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.